Hello, everybody. It is me, Sacred G. I am sorry, I'm checking. Okay, the mic says it's working. So, without further ado, we're also going to check a few other things. Should have done that. Okay, everything says it's good. We're going to react to Dr. Skipper's How Bethesda Doomed the Future of Fallout.
Here's how the average man's life
get
would
an ad.
change if he never saw an ad again.
Yeah.
Day one, he would install Pi on his computer.
I won't.
Ripping the Band-Aid.
Okay, let's get closed captions on so I could read this. I am going to have to speed it up because he uses Bob Crosby's, My Hometown, you know, Dear Hearts and Faithful People, I believe. Haven't listened to the song in a long time, but... Not a long time, but in a while. Let's go 1.25. So, I did watch a little bit of this. I am not going to lie, and so far, I think it was around 3 minutes in, he brings up Valve. I'll respond to that when it gets
Off
there.
Bethesda is ruining Fallout. By saying this, a lot of
Yeah.
you just went, yeah, the sky is blue, while the majority of others just went, what are you talking about? Have you seen the overall sales and recent Steam charts and recent popularity? So to explain what I'm saying, I need to acknowledge that at one point in time, Bethesda saved Fallout. When the company Interplay/Black Isle that made the first two games went bankrupt, Bethesda took the IP under its wing and created Fallout 3, which was a lot of people's entry to the series. Then in 2015, it happened again on the PS4.
Actually, I don't really think that could be true, because my actual first entry was New Vegas, so I think it really depends on who you talk to.
Xbox One with Fallout 4, bringing an entire new generation to something even more accessible than Fallout 3, which was even more accessible than Fallout 2. And then later you got to watch a bunch of fun videos about Fallout 76. And now in 2024, a new Fallout TV show has boosted up all the games and brought people who didn't even play video games to Fallout. Fallout in general is popular, but it's now only so popular due to momentum. The momentum of a new show, but when that dust settled, what was revealed is now a big wasteland. Ironically, a wasteland for Fallout. So despite the big numbers...
Are you saying the single-player games are dead after, like, I think a year since the show's come out? Damn, dude, that's a bit crazy. I don't know. It wasn't very clear
Everyone
there.
playing the games again. Bethesda's still ruining Fallout right now, in real time.
Okay, well, apparently they
Not because
are.
they make games that some people don't like, but even more cynical reasons. Greed, jealousy, entitlement. All behind the coddling of laziness, pride, and hypocrisy. Defended by the veil of success, love, and validation. And if someone doesn't interfere soon, the IP will be consumed by the
Oh, what a shame. It's like they're a company. And the entire company's model is to make money. Now, granted, I personally don't think they're ruining Fallout at all, actually. The show was good. I liked it. Fallout 4 was good too. Even people who fucking hate it or claim it's the worst Fallout say it has good gameplay. Even though it's not the worst Fallout. Far from it, actually. But let's continue.
sands of the wasteland. So let's go down this rabbit hole of why Bethesda is ruining Fallout. Also subscribe. Todd said that if we get enough of these, we might get a New Vegas 2. I promise. That's what he said.
Why do you want a New Vegas 2? That'd be so lame. Why would we want Fallout spin-off 2? Why not just another spin-off that takes place in the same region?
Fallout's never been more popular.
You guys are fucking incompetent.
Let me ask a question. Who is the face of Activision? Who is the face of EA? Who is the face
Who's the face of what the fuck does this have to do with anything? I don't give a fuck about Activision, EA. What is this?
of Blizzard that isn't in jail? Yes, it's Luka Doncic. You're all correct. Most game companies are run by shadow
okay.
people who stack billions and billions while sucking the blood of children. But then there's studios where the main character is a guy you just want to sit down with and have a beautiful cup of coffee. Miyazaki, Hideo Kojima, Gabe Newell when he used to make video games instead of spamming out Steam sales so that he could go on vacation. Also, I think the TF2 community is pretty unhappy with him. And up there is cute little Todd Howard. Behind that leather jacket and false promises is an awkward hunk of love. And it's just
False promises. Okay.
a decoy for the real shadow people behind him. Todd is a guy
That's
that
a discussion for another time. I really don't think Todd is that big of a liar. The Starfield, because I watched the Starfield, what is it? The Starfield press thing that happened before the game came out, and they didn't lie. Neither did Todd, so I don't know what the fuck. I mean, if he was a liar, I would have seen it then. They didn't, explain everything, but that's not lying.
constantly make bad decisions.
Or overpromising.
But when you see him in the flesh, you kind of feel bad for the guy because he's just a little dork. If you want an example,
Constantly making bad decisions, but then points to 76 from when it came out. Not now. Okay.
let's look at when he got scared at IGN and didn't believe that the Fallout show was a 9 of 10 at first. Because before that, everyone loved his passion project for 2 weeks before ripping it to shreds and putting him back in the bad boy corner again. I believe
half of that was unwarranted. And from people who clearly were hating it before it came out and just wanted to have a reason, even more of a reason to hate it. Sorry, I can't take any of the hate for Starfield seriously. I just think it's a meme.
I believe that Todd Howard was once a great game director. He had that humble Mike Wazowski background. A guy who was persistent and had to work hard to get to where he is. He was turned down for Bethesda and told to finish school.
He is pretty inspiring for how he got the job at Bethesda. He was persistent, which is a good thing, and it can be bad. But when it comes to a job, you know, well, this was in, I think, the 80s, so that was a different time.
First, where he then finished school and got told to kick rocks because there's no more jobs available. And after persistence, he finally got to work at the company and climbed his way up the ranks. He failed and succeeded multiple times, but as we've now seen through the years, that once humble Michael Scott has now turned to Mr. O'Hare. The irritating thing about Todd and Bethesda is that they're also the luckiest game developers of all time. They're the only studio that constantly gets bailed out of mediocrity, having it be swept under the rug.
Bailed out of mediocrity, but motherfucker, you're still talking about them. People are still talking about Bethesda. I wouldn't say it's mediocrity. People are still talking about Starfield. Fuck. I mean, for supposedly the worst game of the year, people are constantly talking about it. At the time, and even now. What do you mean by mediocrity? But again, it's opinion. So, let's move on.
And I used to think this was only a recent Bethesda thing, but with hindsight observation, this has always happened. Valve games have stood the test of time from ground.
This is what I mean. What the fuck does Valve have anything to do with this? Is this a Valve video or a Bethesda video?
Breaking mechanics and innovation, with the biggest critique being that they don't make games anymore because of the success of Steam. And in the case of TF2 recently, value monetization more than their current online games. But as we saw recently...
But they also make technology. They released the Steam Deck. But again, I'm not going to entertain this.
Again, Valve still makes games when they want to
This makes no sense. At all. Is this a Valve video? Because that's what it's kind of coming off like. Like, you're just cramming all these fucking game companies together like it makes sense, but it doesn't. Like, I don't understand how this correlates with Bethesda.
Technologies. Bethesda is not Valve. They're constantly being bested by other studios and have
they're not Valve. Of course they're not. What a revolution. Yeah, but bring them up anyways. Why don't we?
Competition, which has made them incredibly stubborn and borderline delusional. Bethesda in their prime was a hungry and driven game studio, wanting to make the best action-adventure games with some of those old RPG elements. Elder Scrolls was an original IP that was constantly evolving. Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion, with Oblivion being a big step up from Morrowind. While Bethesda was going on this run, Interplay's role-playing games like Baldur's Gate and Fallout were collecting dust, since gaming was evolving, and Interplay saw no profitability making look-down-in-depth RPG games. But then comes in a savior, Todd Howard, who likes the look of Fallout and the aesthetic of Fallout, and said by him himself, if this thing's just gonna collect dust, let me play with it.
A bunch of the people who run the company knew the people at Interplay. We pestered them and pestered them. Like, are you guys using Fallout? They weren't doing anything with it.
Keep this clip saved back.
I would be a little annoyed if they were pestering me, but they wanted to make a Fallout game, you know, whatever. Then they were able to. They bought the IP.
Your brain, because it's really fun with hindsight.
I love those dear
Fallout 3 is the Archduke assassination of Bethesda, being the first domino to what's wrong with them now. But at the time, this looked like...
I doubt they didn't, like, pester them to an annoying degree. They probably just asked, and if they said no, they're like, okay, and then they did it again, probably months later. I don't know. I don't work there. I wasn't there at the time.
Like the beginning of a money glitch. After getting the IP, Fallout 3 was made from the imagination of Bethesda, then quickly became the studio's most successful game ever. Gamers loved the exploration, the VAT system, and the gore. To the mainstream, it was the first ever post-apocalyptic game in the accessible
Some people probably like the story too.
format. It was a world that you could get distracted in for hours, that had this illusion of choice and scale. It wasn't intimidating or unappealing to the masses like the first two Fallout games, but there was objectively a lack of quality in its RPG elements.
Sure, alright, whatever.
Fallout 1 and 2 are real RPG games.
Objectively, there's a lack of quality in the RPG elements. How? Dude.
And that was the main appeal of Fallout before Bethesda took over. Or then Fallout became a more linear RPG.
Alright, let's go back.
Objectively a lack of quality in its RPG elements.
Yep.
Fallout 1 and 2 are real RPG games, and that was the main appeal of Fallout.
Of course you're gonna say the first two games are the real ones, and you're probably gonna throw New Vegas in there as well. I have not seen it up to here. I am willing to bet that. Jesus.
Before Bethesda took over. Or then Fallout became a more linear RPG, more fascinated with exploration and action.
Linear? What do you mean by linear?
So that created a vocal critique to Bethesda.
That created a vocal critique to Bethesda, dude. It's not linear, dude. Are you kidding? The fucking Game of the Year disproves that point, objectively. You can go and do the DLCs the minute you get out of the vault if you're feeling ballsy. Yeah, you have to be a certain level to, get the DLCs, or to actually do them without getting pissed off and dying a lot. But hey, people like challenges, and you could go and do the DLCs and not have to worry about Sean for a while. Fuck, I mean, I would recommend maybe doing the DLCs. I've thought of doing this myself, doing the DLCs first, and then doing the content in the base game. But of course, the game's too linear. I knew it, dude. I had a feeling it was one of these videos.
which at the time was tossing
Very predictable.
down at the guy who ruled the world. Fallout had a monopoly on the RPG genre. When people weren't playing Halo 3 for multiplayer or Gears of War, they were playing
I don't care about Halo 3. Or the multiplayer. I don't care for multiplayer, most multiplayer games besides Dead by Daylight. And Mortal Kombat, actually, as of recently.
Fallout 3 for their single-player itch. Not many knew the quality of a game like Fallout 2, so who cares if Fallout
Yeah, like that game was fucking better, or a lot better written, and had really great gameplay.
3 is linear and poorly
I've tried playing those, and I just can't. I just can't. And that leaves me to ask you guys, what Fallout game, or actually, better yet, what is your unpopular Fallout opinions? I'd actually like to know. I'm not going to do a video reading them. You have a right to voice them, and if I don't agree, I don't agree. But let's get some comments going. What are your guys' unpopular Fallout opinion? Give me, I don't know, try to go for 4. Let's go 4.
written. It's the only game I've played, and with no competition, it's fun to use VATS and explore the wasteland. And people loved it. Bethesda was revered, and Todd Howard was a new god. So Todd sat down and thought to himself, let's make Fallout 3, but in Elder Scrolls. And ZeniMax didn't like that. Fallout was a hit, so why go off the grid and make a game and have the IP collect dust? And luckily, there was people who wanted to make a Fallout game and had some experience with the IP. Originally, an expansion was going to get outsourced for Fallout 3 while Skyrim
New Vegas. And he's probably going to gloat this game up to no ground, dude. I guarantee you he's going to gloat up the fucking New Vegas game that the developers decided to throw a backstory in on you through a DLC up and say Fallout 4 was garbage because they did the same thing.
was being made.
Guaranteed.
But Todd Howard convinced ZeniMax
Minus he won't mention Lonesome Road.
make an entire new Fallout game made by Obsidian Entertainment, which was a studio that had a lot of people that previously worked for Interplay and were on the development team for Fallout 2. New Vegas was made from the skeleton of Interplay's Fallout 3 that was scrapped due to the company's financial struggle. And before New Vegas, they made Knights of the Old Republic 2. That was rushed, so they didn't have time to fully scale that game to their vision, but still pulled it off. Luckily, that
Can't get into that one either.
will never happen again, right?
But whatever.
Why can't you stay
Oh
organized?
my
I've
God.
experienced this myself. And
Blah
it's
blah blah
called
blah blah
chronic
blah blah.
impulse
Who
control,
cares?
where you
This is some
prioritize-
bullshit ad. Okay.
Yippee-yay, there'll be no sweating bells.
Oh, Jingle
Behind the
Jangle.
minds
Yeah.
of Josh Sawyer, John Gonzalez, Chris Avalone, Fergus Urquhart, and many more came Fallout New Vegas, a game made for the in-between period of Skyrim, with an 18-month window. This game even existing is not only impressive, but also displays the massive problem with Bethesda. Obsidian's tight deadline and show that even under pressure, if you could write something good and really love what you're making, that everything else will fall into place. And the stuff that doesn't fall into place will be viewed forever.
One of the bigger complaints is the game is empty, man, and it was buggy as shit. So they didn't really pull it off. Can't really say that.
Through the lens of, what would this game be like if they had 3
It is a
years?
good game, but you can't just say they pulled it off. You need, if you're gonna critique shit or a company, be fair if you're gonna bring up these random ass companies. But I mean, the whole Valve thing was just filler, in my opinion, just padding.
to make it. New Vegas was made with the consideration of Fallout 3. The developers even say that the Fallout 3 formula is why the main
Again, I'm willing to bet money that he is going to gloat the fuck out of New Vegas. Guarantee you, man.
stream enjoy Fallout. So instead of discarding Bethesda's format and game style, their goal was to improve everything from the third game and build upon it with the limited time they had. Gunplay, customization, skill trees, roleplay, writing. Fallout New Vegas is a collaboration of Fallout 2 and 3, taking the care of fun and roleplay from Black Isle and collaborating with the fun and wonder of Bethesda. New Vegas is a true gem that mastered the Fallout style, becoming the poster boy what an RPG should be, and it wasn't even made to its full potential due to the
That's an opinion.
crunch and tight deadline. There's so many video essays and breakdowns you can watch going over the incredible details of New Vegas, but even playing it for yourself and committing to it, you will quickly see that New Vegas is a game that has never been replicated again. Because instead of choosing to be pretty and shiny on the outside,
Yeah, he's not saying. Well, he probably will at the end when he's done talking about New Vegas, and then he's gonna go shit on Bethesda, because that's what this is.
they instead chose to be shiny and pretty on the inside, which is why Bethesda hates this game.
Okay, that was worse. So now Bethesda hates fucking Obsidian, even though they hired them to make Fallout New Vegas. And Todd has stated that he would like to work with them again. or at least the team who did New Vegas. I'm sorry. Like, I hate that fucking argument, dude. I just do. It's so stupid. They fucking hate it. Oh, even though they literally modeled the 4-faction ending from Fallout 4 from New Vegas. Yeah, they must really hate them. And they had the show take place on the West Coast. If you're going to tell me, you know, if I'm going to get troll comments, which I'm willing to bet I will, I mean, that's just an obvious money winner there in terms of betting. If you're going to tell me, well, the show was just awful and all this other stuff, they just screwed up the lore, and I don't give a fuck. That's an opinion. And I'm sorry, if you're going to bitch about the lore was fucked from the first game. Okay, they had no plan with this series. Tim Kaine said this himself. Does that make them a terrible studio and they're bad game makers? No. I'm just saying, if you're going to complain about the lore, then you should probably look at the fucking where the water's pouring out from. Because they had no vision with this fucking game. They didn't even plan a sequel. I mean, if they did, they probably would have fleshed out the entirety of the game. And then if people were complaining about lore, I would take this a little more seriously. But that's not the case. The lore was just weird from the beginning. As I like to say it was fucked from the start. But I know that's not what he's talking about. But this whole fucking thing about, you know, Bethesda hating Obsidian is just, sorry, ridiculous. It's not even true. And there's no proof backing that up. It's just hearsay, and it's more than likely objectively false. So,
with the revisionism of the Fallout fan base, some are
because I just think if they really hated, you know, Obsidian, they wouldn't even have had the show take place on the West Coast and have any New Vegas references, including this armor you're seeing, the fucking riot gear. I don't think it's the NCR Ranger armor. I don't remember what it's called, but
rewrite history and gaslight the narrative around New Vegas. That Todd doesn't hate the game, that he actually loves the game, that all Fallouts are masterpieces in their own way. And while the idea of holding hands and singing Kumbaya around the fire is beautiful and brings a single tear to my eye, I live in a place called reality, where we don't always shed a single tear at every rainbow. Todd has recently praised New Vegas. It would make sense that after 14 years, he would now praise the game in the spotlight, since he's using its identity as his new meat puppet to make people get excited after years of downplaying it. The creator of New Vegas has stated,
years of downplaying it? Where's the proof, buddy?
I don't feel like it's healthy for me to be really invested in something I have no control over. This was after he was asked about Fallout New Vegas' role in the Fallout show. Also, the writer of New Vegas is not happy about certain decisions that have been made, and has been vocally critiquing the show as well.
Cool. It's like they have opinions. Probably should have been smarter with the companies they get involved with then. I don't know.
So to state that there's a two-way street of friendship and respect just makes no sense. Obsidian has been getting screwed over by Bethesda for a while. Because of the
Yeah, where's the evidence?
big crunch, New Vegas was insanely buggy at launch and had trouble running on that current generation.
Yeah, because guess what, bro? Obsidian takes these stupid-ass fucking deals and then they end up thinking way outside of the damn box. This is, again, just one of those Fallout hate or the Bethesda hate videos. Oh, they hate Obsidian. They've been screwing them over, even though Obsidian willfully took this deal. And they did that with KOTOR too. So, that's a little weird, man. It's a little strange.
If only had an extra year like Starfield to patch bugs, because that was clearly the only problem that game had. So because of this rough launch, its critic scores were affected, which put them 1 point below the required score to get their bonus. Yes, the bonus for the team that crunched this game in 18 months was in the hands of subjective reviewers that didn't get to meet the bonus requirement due to the rush launch that made it lower in scores.
It's funny, subjective reviewers, but it's
like
a
the game was
little sus for coming from you, buddy.
From the start. So yeah, fuck that bonus. The game didn't get as high of scores as Fallout 3, but the noise and praise were higher than Fallout 3 for sure. The vast details and choice in New Vegas made Fallout 3 its bitch. A real RPG, a game
I don't know, man. Some of the choices in that game were just the same. Either it's go here, convince somebody to give you the thing, and go back, or kill them, go back, or just not do it. That's literally the quest design in many RPGs. Not just Fallout 4 and Fallout 3. New Vegas also had those as well. Maybe it should be a huge critique thing across all role-playing games. That's what I'd say.
game where you could actually carve out your destiny, a game with real consequences and choices, while also being a more in-depth, fun shooter. New Vegas quickly became the poster child for what a video game should be, and its humble roots even made it more beloved in history. What these guys did in 18 months...
But, you know, you're never going to mention the fact that Obsidian also, for whatever reason, decided to throw a backstory for your character in New Vegas. They just did. Does that make the game a less RPG? No. I still like New Vegas, but I'm never playing Lonesome Road because of that. Well, you could tell Ulysses had nothing to do with it, but he fucking insists continuously throughout that DLC, dude. That's worse than what they did in Fallout 4.
Most people can't even do today.
100% worse, if we're going by the logic. But of course, they will never, these people are dumb. They will never bring this up. Or, well, I wouldn't say dumb. They just won't bring it up because it doesn't help their narrative. Even though it actually makes their narrative look worse, and that they're just kind of cherry-picking things to talk about to make Bethesda look shitty.
4 years. I like Cyberpunk as well, but like, Jesus, imagine that budget and time in these guys' hands. With the success, there was a change in Todd. The little nerd who loved video games got it.
I'll tell you one thing, if Cyberpunk was in Obsidian's hands, probably would have been a 18-month rushed game with a shit ton of bugs, crashing to desktop on PC, quite a bit, and being a little empty.
Got angry. He got bitter. He stuck his neck out for this thing to be made. He originally wanted Interplay to share the IP so that Bethesda could have fun. Well, now he did the same thing back and got upstaged. Then after this, Todd...
Sure.
Were you abused by a Mormon bishop elder or a
I
church
was.
leader? A
No,
global settlement may be coming in 2025. If you grew up in the Mormon church and
released Skyrim, and it became the biggest game of all
Sad,
time.
actually. Mormons are very nice.
Skyrim was the peak of Bethesda style. Skyrim scaled back even more from Fallout 3 in terms of roleplay and doubled down on the vision of being an action RPG. And in
You do you. You could believe that all you want. It's really taste and opinion at the end of the day. Come on, bro.
the result of that, Skyrim was a huge success.
And I'm gonna be honest, we were talking about Fallout. Like, New Vegas was fine, Valve was a bit padding, and this just seems the same thing. But I get it, it's Bethesda.
It's
so.
weird looking at Skyrim from a modern viewpoint because while Skyrim truly changed gaming,
I would
Bethesda
just
also
talk
learned all the
about
wrong lessons
The Elder Scrolls after you brought up The Elder Scrolls. I don't know why you did this after you talked about Fallout.
from its success. Skyrim is a really bad RPG, especially compared to KOTOR, KOTOR 2, Vegas, but it was the spark of action-adventure games. At the time, Skyrim was a lot of people's first time ever really feeling like they were in a fantasy world that they could explore and be powerful in, similar to how people felt with Fallout 3. Nowadays, the combat is jank, the skill tree is overpowered, making you a god with no consequence, and yet
Yeah, because you min-maxed, or cheated, or exploited the shit out of the game. It is hard to... It's literally... It will take you fucking... If you play the game normally without using any exploits, that right there, the whole, you know, you become a god, that'll take you months. And these people aren't role-playing. They're just fucking, you know, min-maxing and exploiting the fucking game. And I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's crazy.
yeah, the RPG is down to pick A or B side and eventually everything falls into place. But
Yeah, and that's 90% of RPGs. Sorry. You pick A or B side, and things will just fall into place. It's like, you know, role-playing games give you a choice. Some of them are a little less, but that choice is still there. And there was a little more choice. Like, I remember a couple of the side quests in Skyrim giving you more choices than the, you know... the Civil War. I do agree that was a bit of a meh thing, but that's opinion. Some people probably really enjoyed the Civil War. I actually do, regardless of the flaws, man.
compared to Fallout 3, New Vegas, and even Red Dead 1 to an extent, it was magical, pretty, and huge. I quoted this from Joseph Anderson in my Starfield video, but
I wonder how many other YouTubers you quoted, because this video just seems discombobulated with that padding of Valve. In the
Skyrim is a
beginning.
shallow puddle, but it's just so much fun to splash in. I look at Skyrim with cynicism now because
Skyrim is shallow and just so much fun to splash in, okay. Even though you could spec your character out, craft, get married, adopt children, become a vampire. Oh yeah. Very shallow. the fun.
As good as Skyrim was, it's aged and everybody has done something better than that game since. Skyrim was way more successful.
What did you say? Let's see.
Starfield video, but Skyrim is a shallow puddle, but it's just so much fun to splash in. I look at Skyrim with cynicism now because as good as Skyrim was, it's aged and everybody has done something better than that game since. Skyrim was way more successful and popular than Red Dead 1, but Rockstar ended up making Red Dead 2, which...
I don't give a fuck. What is this padding? Who cares what Rockstar's doing? This is about Bethesda. What does this have to do with Bethesda? Your video is titled, How Bethesda Doomed the Future of Fallout. So far you talked about Valve and now Rockstar. Oh, and Cyberpunk. But no, like, the Cyberpunk thing you brought up was really quick, but he's literally comparing these games, man. This is ridiculous. I don't care.
Some say is the most immersive
You're just making Red Dead 2 look extremely overrated. Sorry.
Game of all time. That Dark Souls game...
I love Red Dead 2, actually. It's one of Rockstar's better games. I find it way better than GTA 5,
Came out in
at least in
2011.
terms of story.
Yeah, that studio made Elden Ring. The point is that there's been a lot of evolution in gaming since then. And while studios have been upping their A-game, Bethesda's been on nothing but a down...
I don't care about Elden Ring. I don't. I might give it a shot, though. I've been thinking about it. But what's that have to do with Bethesda? And you're only showcasing a mod that may or may not happen to you. Good job.
After the success of Skyrim, Bethesda got an ego. COD made the most successful game ever by doubling...
Ego. Ooh. Uh-oh. Made the most successful game ever by doubling
down on what people said he was doing wrong after the comparison of New Vegas and Fallout 3. So he was going to do what he did before again and trust his guts. He was going to bring that Skyrim mindset to Fallout again, scale back even more on that RPG element and get...
Yep, and he's ready. He's building up to Fallout 4, which he's going to shit on. Watch. I guarantee you, and if I'm right, this video's predictable. This is bad.
Even more linear. They're going to stay on the same engine. They're going to do what others can't. They're going to make
Sorry, I'm hearing some noises.
Bethesda game. Because Bethesda games are something no one else can make.
My brother may be home. You may hear Mr. Nightmare in the background. So sorry, Mr. Nightmare.
Bethesda became secluded. Instead of spreading out and being charitable, giving people cracks at different visions under their IPs like they once did, they became a studio of doubling down on their independent visions. A huge...
Sure. Okay. Even though they literally made Starfield, and that was a vision they had, and they got it out there. And regardless of your fucking shitty opinion, they got it out there. I mean, you just don't see it. You just don't see their vision, and that's fine. It's just, you know, like, dude, I don't see how Bethesda's doing the future of Fallout. This video ain't helping.
The complaint of New Vegas today is that it feels janky and old.
As a matter of fact, it just seems like you're just bringing up these outside materials just to make it look worse than it is, even though the outside materials don't make any sense in the grand scheme of things, because those are different studios pushing for different things. They may get inspiration from each other, but you know what? That is not what's happening. They ain't in competition, because I'll tell you, there'll be a lot more shitty games. People will be pushing shit out faster. Some will be hit or misses.
Yeah, that's true.
God willing, you will not leave this valley.
It even felt old in 2010. And since New Vegas, Bethesda and Obsidian haven't collaborated. So Obsidian never got to make a more modern game, which also makes...
What do you say? Ever since what? Was it Red Dead Redemption? Same year. Okay.
And since New Vegas, Bethesda and Obsidian haven't collaborated. He's going to do what he did before again and trust his guts. He was going to bring that Skyrim mindset to Fallout again, scale back even more on that RPG element, and get even more linear. They're going to stay on the same engine.
Okay, dude. You could think it's linear. I mean, I don't think we're playing the same game. I mean, that's a bit crazy to say that, man. As I say almost every time since I've started reacting, that it's pretty dumb to sit here and fucking say, you know, the games are getting linear when they've been open world, and they still are. And you can choose to do the main story regardless of how urgent it may feel to you.
They're going to do what others can't. They're
Or
going to
not. Anyhow.
make a Bethesda game. Because Bethesda games are something no one else can make but Bethesda. Bethesda became
Yeah, no shit, dude. Wow. You're on a roll today, pointing out the obvious.
secluded. Instead of spreading out and being charitable, giving people cracks at different visions under their IPs like they once did, they became a studio of doubling down on their independent visions. A huge complaint of New Vegas today is that it feels janky and old. And yeah, that's true.
God willing, you will not
Yeah,
leave.
and that's really Obsidian's fault, not Bethesda's. They took a deal, thought way outside of the box. I don't know if you've seen the concept art for New Vegas. It's amazing. It's just they weren't thinking realistically when they made this game. They were thinking way too outside of the box, in my opinion, based on the concept art.
This valley.
It even felt old in 2010. And since New Vegas, Bethesda and Obsidian haven't collaborated. So Obsidian never got to make a more modern game, which also
I'm
makes
so
it
sorry.
janky and old. And yeah, that's true.
God willing, you will not leave this valley.
It even felt old in 2010. And since New Vegas, Bethesda and Obsidian haven't collaborated. So Obsidian
Yeah, because they were contracted. Do you not understand how contracted companies work? Or when the company contracts another, they don't stay working together. Fucking A. What the hell is that? I don't know if you guys heard that in the mic, but something's going on. But we'll try to finish this. If I end up dying on the mic, whatever.
and never got to make a more modern game, which also makes no sense.
I think
Even
my little brother's home.
with Fallout New Vegas not selling as much as
I actually hope. I might have to go check.
3, the game is still revered as the greatest RPG of all time and still sold well for Bethesda standards. The gap felt old in 2010, and since New Vegas, Bethesda and Obsidian haven't collaborated. So
and
Obsidian
the point he made, well, ever since New Vegas, they didn't work together again because that's, how companies that contract other companies work. And that's pretty much what they were, was a contracted company, or developer in this case. And they made New Vegas, and that was it. That's all they did. You just touch some grass, eat some ass. I don't know. Like, this is obvious.
and never got to make a more modern game, which also makes no sense. Even with Fallout New Vegas not selling as much as 3, the game is still revered as the greatest RPG of all time and still sold well for Bethesda
Yeah,
standards.
it's one of the most overrated Fallouts in my opinion. Even though I like it, I see the love behind it. It's just, when people talk about it like this, sorry, it's not the greatest. And I'm willing to say that about most of the other Bethesda games I like. They're not the greatest. I like them, though.
The gap between Skyrim and Fallout 4 would be from 2011 to 2015. In the timeline, Skyrim was just recently the biggest game ever. Bethesda had clout and cash, and now Bethesda had time. And between those 4 years was radio silence. Even from a business standpoint, it makes no sense. In the past, ZeniMax was asking for more Fallout when Fallout 3 was a success. So that's why New Vegas was on that crunch to chase that high, which it did. And then after New Vegas, you have Skyrim.
No, I don't think that's true. From what I remember hearing, and again, this may not even be true either, is that Obsidian reached out to Bethesda and asked if they can work on a Fallout game. And Bethesda's like, yeah, as long as you could do it in 18 months. And by the way, like, saying that, what they did in 18 months was amazing, which it is, but they're not the only ones who've done that. Actually, so.
Being the biggest game ever, and being the biggest game ever is followed by no urgency or pursuits. It has to be because Obsidian didn't want to do it anymore, right? After that crunchy getting fucked over on that bonus, they were like, nah,
they got fucked over, and this is, oh god. Another New Vegas elitist, TKS Manus. Daily reminder that Bethesda offered Obsidian the bonus for Fallout New Vegas. It wasn't discussed before the game was in production. Many devs from Obsidian were thankful Bethesda offered a bonus at all and accepted that the terms were not met. Hold on. Obsidian got paid for New Vegas.
let's not do it anymore. Nope. Chris Avallone, the writer for New Vegas, states that New Vegas 2 was pitched and denied. When asked why Bethesda said no.
Yeah, because why would you want to make a sequel and a spinoff? Like, really?
He said that question has kept him awake at nights for years, and then states that the team repeatedly asked to do an Elder Scrolls.
According to, not stated. Oh, well, according to Chris Avallone, Obsidian made multiple proposals to develop spin-offs for Fallout. Okay, why are you saying it's fucking New Vegas 2? Did the last tweet before this say that? So, apologies to TKS.
Nope, Chris Avallone.
I thought actually it was going to be him shitting on Bethesda, even though he's done it before, but
For New Vegas states that New Vegas 2 was pitched and denied. When asked why Bethesda said no.
Okay, could you please share your understanding as to why this is?
No, he said that
This
question has kept him awake at nights
I hate this
for
editing
years,
right
and then states
here.
that the team.
Oh my god, this is the casual. I don't even read that because I couldn't because Chris Avallone's hair was in the way.
The writer for New Vegas states that New Vegas 2 was pitched and denied. When asked New Vegas or
Fucking
anything in the Fallout world, states that the team repeatedly asked.
Okay, this is true. One of the Elder Scrolls proposals which I pitched was, this is Chris Avallone himself.
Do an Elder Scrolls spin-off in
the
style of Fallout New Vegas.
Intended to serve the same function as Fallout New Vegas did between Fallout 3 and Fallout 4.
Or anything in the
I can't even read that. Like, what is this editing? Like, why put these in here if you're not going to be able... If I can't read these? I thought it couldn't hurt. Try and push blob Chris Avallone's hair. Similar system to what Treyarch, Activision, Chris Avallone's hair had going for Call of Duty at the time. Chris Avallone's hair. Hopefully less rushed. Bethesda could do a core release, then weed Chris Avallone's neck, release the Elder Scrolls title in the same world or a divergent timeline era before the next big Chris Avalone's shoulder shirt, whatever the fuck you want to say, but Beth's push.
Fallout world for years, to then be told nope again. He even pitched it the
Yeah, I can't read all that.
same way. So this brings up
I'm
Boogeyman
not going to
claims
discredit it, but I'm trying to read these tweets.
Vegas
it's
2's
happening.
pitch and denied. When
Fuck
asked
it,
why
that was
Bethesda said no,
bad.
he said that question has kept him awake at nights for years.
Oh, gee, that question that kept me awake for nights for years.
And then states
The case.
that the team repeatedly asked to do an Elder Scrolls spin-off in the style of Fallout New Vegas, or
Yeah.
anything in the Fallout world for years, to then be told nope again. He even pitched it the same way. So this brings up Boogeyman claims of why Obsidian didn't work on anything for Bethesda. Claim 1. The game being buggy brought a negative reputation. This is bullshit. Bethesda games have always had the reputation of being notoriously buggy. Skyrim had a buggy launch, and even years later we'd see the skin of Fallout 4 and 76. And even besides the bugs, we've seen a game like Starfield that was almost
According to the community, 76 is better, so who knows? Wouldn't doubt that there's still bugs. But that's like with every fucking game.
spotless, still be disliked. It's a shadow claim that I don't believe. It objectively makes no sense. In ZeniMax's interest of making more money, they benefit by having more games to make more money.
Yeah, and you objectively have no proof of that.
Fallout New Vegas was revered as one of the greatest games of all time, so it wouldn't even be a problem in terms of quality or care. And now
Grift is hard, my guy.
you have a 4-year window of nothing going on, and when you had this exact situation to work the first time, New Vegas the Gap game was a hit, then Skyrim After was your biggest hit. For ZeniMax to now stop production at the high of Bethesda just makes no sense. It's why I know Bethesda had to intervene. Todd's ego of being a sore winner has now hoarded the Fallout IP and the Elder Scrolls IP, making Bethesda the core developers of both from now on. I think Todd did this to avoid Obsidian making any more games. To avoid
I don't care. This is just literally delusional at this
Obsidian
point.
making an Elder Scrolls New Vegas
This has been disproven. Like, what else does Todd need to do? Just take a picture, like one of those fake-ass pictures of them smiling with Obsidian? Yeah, see, guys? What? Like, he said it. That he liked the team. He is not the entire company. He is the design lead. Like, why are you putting this on Todd? That makes no fucking sense.
their Skyrim, so it couldn't once again shit on their parade. But hey, if you're gonna be a
Manage money as a family with the Venmo
Yeah.
Teen account. Available for
Oh,
ages
that
13
sounds
to
so
17.
interesting. I'm not gonna get it.
Live from New York.
God damn.
It's the best sketch that's ever been made.
I don't care,
God with your
SNL.
IPs, just don't mess it up.
Yeah, don't.
Fallout 4 was a mixed win. I brought this up in my Starfield video. Fallout 4
Yeah, and you shouldn't have. It was about Starfield, but okay.
made it so that Fallout played more like a modern shooter that isn't from 2005. The gunplay was pretty ass compared to other games at the time, but it's still real gunplay. The world was fun to walk around, you're able to loot, craft, and explore. The plot was horrible, the world building was bad, and the RPG
Opinions. They're like assholes. Everyone has one. Unless you were born without one.
was the worst it's ever been. The launch was also buggy and everything releasing around it was way better. Once again,
And of course. Oh, really, dude?
it was fun to walk around, you're able to loot, craft, and explore. The plot was horrible, the world building was bad, and the RPG was the worst it's ever been. The launch was also buggy and everything releasing around it was way better.
Yeah, okay, the RPG elements were bad. So going by this logic, because we all know why people say this, right? It's because it forced, quotes, forced a backstory, even though your background for the present story that is being told, which is, you know, you being out of the military, and your spouse, your wife, is a law school graduate. It is never actually stated that she is a lawyer or not. I know the robot from the USS Constitution says lawyer, but why would people want to believe a robot who still thinks that, who's been sitting there and looks half damaged? And why would they even carry their IDs? Who knows? There's a lot you could say about that. If you want to believe that robot, go fucking for it. But, you know, I guess the counter could be, you know, well, the robot does state that, or the Mr. Handy does state that, the male character is actually from the military, or it was in the military, he's from the army, whatever. And, you know, the robot says that, but doesn't mean you were a lawyer. Probably scanned the fact that you had an ID. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. At the end of the day, personalities aren't really there, but you have The Witcher 3 in there, and going by your logic, The Witcher 3 is a worse RPG than Fallout 4. Can't make your character. You have to play as Geralt. Going by their logic, I don't actually believe this, but going by the logic of Fallout 4 and being a terrible RPG because of, you know, the backstory stuff, then I guess The Witcher 3 is the worst. But of course, for whatever reason, they contradict themselves heavily, dude. And I don't know what any of these games have to do. Like Arkham Knight. I know these were 2015 releases. Where's Life is Strange, by the way? That also came out in 2015. But okay.
Better. Once again, those assholes who made Dark Souls in 2011, yeah, they just made Bloodborne, you know, one of the greatest games of all time. Witcher 3
Sure, I really can't get into those games.
came out, also a really good game. But besides all this,
Yeah, but Witcher 3 is also a very watered-down RPG because you can't even edit Geralt all that much besides change his hairstyle like a GTA character. Whoops. We're going by the logic. I mean, I just don't understand how Fallout 4 gets shot on when it has more, what is it, character creativeness than The Witcher 3 does.
Fallout 4 sold well. It was the best launch for Bethesda ever, actually. Overall, Skyrim is still on top on sales, but in that small release window, Fallout 4 skyrocketed off of anticipation alone.
It did. It sold a lot.
The last Fallout game was 5 years
Because the
prior,
marketing was smart.
not including New Vegas, 7. But this is when Todd was flying too close to the sun, because in doing so, it regressed a lot from even Skyrim, which already regressed from previous games. It was too linear and dumb, without care outside of cosplay. So once again, like Fallout 3, it was on paper a success, selling 13.5 million copies, being the most successful in the fall.
Hold on.
Regressed a lot from even Skyrim, which already regressed from previous games. It was too
It's called innovating, dude. Apparently, you got lost. Like, you saw what innovating was, and then you kind of forgot or something. I don't know.
linear and dumb, without care outside of cosplay. So
He said linear and dumb and care outside of cosplay, huh? You really want to drive home it's linear, dude. Did you even play Fallout 4? Because I doubt you played the game. Because anyone in their right mind should be able to know the minute you get out of the vault that you can literally go and do whatever you want. And pretty much establish your character's life right from the get-go. And go into the higher leveled areas and get stomped on if you wanted to.
So once again, like Fallout 3, it was on paper a success, selling 13.5 million copies, being the most successful in the Fallout series.
Oh, no.
Fallout 76 was a colossal failure. The pride and lies of Todd
I do agree. 76's launch was pretty bad.
He couldn't run from this one, where New Vegas was a rush game made with love.
I barely played the beta. I mean, I just wasn't all hyped for it. I wasn't excited. I prefer Bethesda single players, and this was actually their second multiplayer game. And they did want to do something different with it, which I respect. It's because Todd wanted the players to interact with each other, based on what he said during the E3 of 2018. And I think that's fine. It's just the launch, this is their second MMO, so...
76 was a rush game made with greed. Like Elder Scrolls, instead of letting someone else ever...
Sure, and you also pointed out that New Vegas was rushed, I think. You're losing me, man. This is
trying to
just
upstage them again.
grifting.
And they wanted to keep the IP alive via live service. They
Grifting on the Bethesda hate. It's clearly that. No substantial evidence. Bethesda gave influencers nice Fallout 76 and they did do this. And this was a huge problem. Who knows? Maybe they ran out of material to make it, or the material was expensive. I don't know. I would lean more towards the material. They ran out of material or whatever. Maybe the company who made the bags. I don't know. But it was dumb, and I could see why people were pissed off about that.
And people made false promises, and years later try to rewrite history. Because if something
What false promises?
doesn't work at Bethesda, it's never a swing and a miss. It's just that people don't get it yet. So
Neither do you, because you don't seem to see that games do innovate whether you like that or not. And if the innovations sit with you and they do well, fine. More power to you and myself and to many others. But you don't seem to understand that even if you don't like what they did with Fallout 4, it did innovate. People know which Fallout 4 is. And could see the difference between all of the fucking games. Besides, 3 New Vegas, minus New Vegas having iron sights.
after dropping the ball, what does Bethesda do? Do they finally give in, stop hoarding the IPs, and work on their next game Starfield while a new Elder Scrolls or Fallout gets co-developed? Nope. They announced their next Elder Scrolls game in 2018, then they don't release their next game till 2023, and then they start working on that game from 2018 after the 2023 game. And guess what?
Who cares? Oh, yeah.
That 2023 game is outdated. It's worse.
And you're showing, dude, you literally copied his thumbnail. You're just holding a blue alien. I really am starting to think maybe he took some of what Nakey Jakey said and just crafted it into his own video, but that's speculation. I'm not going to get into that.
Worse RPG mechanics from Fallout 4, and also worse in gameplay. Bethesda games can
RPG mechanics from Fallout 4, your backgrounds couldn't influence conversations in Fallout 4. Doesn't make Fallout 4 less of an RPG. Just fucking Starfield had that. I don't know what you're talking about.
be enjoyed by people. That's okay.
Oh yeah, because your choices apparently don't matter.
To be accessible, but because they're so dumbed down, it makes them not great games. So if their
Dumbed down, not great games. Oh, to you.
games are not amazing, why the fuck are they gatekeeping them so hard? From the time of
Gatekeeping, motherfucker, you literally just said New Vegas is what RPG should be. You are gatekeeping. Fucking irony, man.
Fallout 4 to Starfield, From Software released Bloodborne DLC, Dark Souls 3 DLC.
Hey, don't care. Look at that. This should not say DLC, it should say don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck, because these are two different fucking games. These don't have the same mechanics. Besides combat, I guess. The lore's different. The storytelling in these games are different. Why are you bringing this shit up?
DLC, Dark Souls 1 Remix, Sekiro, Elden Ring, DLCs to both
Sekiro.
of those. It's just,
I actually do want to play Sekiro. That game looks fun.
Fallout 4 was so old and shit, and
Okay, whatever.
Starfield was old and shit. I know studios have a reputation of cracking the whip on developers, but at least after those cracks and brutality, you get a Red Dead Redemption 2, or a Halo 2, or even a New Vegas.
I don't really care, and I don't want a New Vegas 2, because usually the sequels in terms of games don't... Well, no, game sequels actually are better than films. That's an opinion. Don't slit my throat in the comments.
Yeah, GTA 6 took forever, and it looks great and will most likely be amazing because Rockstar hasn't dropped the ball.
Not really unpopular opinion, but I'm not really excited for GTA 6, not because it's woke or any of that bullshit. It's mainly because I'm not a big GTA fan. I think the games could get really boring really quick.
Yet on their single-player campaigns, so they have the right to
Red
go
Dead 2, though? Good game.
ghost mode and have it be okay, because when they come back, you can trust it. Starfield is not a game that takes 5 years to make, and that's being generous counting 76. That was made with tape and spit. 8 years to work.
You're not being generous. You're just shitting on Bethesda because you need views.
On this piece of shit game, from Skyrim, it's been a downhill slope. Each game is getting worse, and now you want us to be happy that Elder Scrolls 6 is getting made on that same old-ass engine with a little bit of polish that still has the NPC.
Old-ass engine, it's actually updated, and 90% of studios, you know, I don't know which ones actually switch their engines out. I'm pretty sure a few do, but a lot of them still use the same engine. I think Rockstar does. If I'm not mistaken, I think I heard that they still use the Rage engine. And they used it for Red Dead 2. So where's the criticism there? I mean, going by their logic, any company that uses the same outdated, quotes, outdated engine should just be as criticized as Bethesda.
NPCs being dead on the inside. I have a video about Starfield, but Bethesda doesn't make good enough games to be this greedy. In 2021, Microsoft bought ZeniMax Media, so they own Bethesda as a publisher, even though Bethesda operates as its own studio. The purchase was for $7.5 billion. Now Bethesda is owned by Microsoft. Starfield is a bomb. Your next Elder Scrolls game isn't going to be out for like another 5 years. So what the hell is happening with Fallout?
Why is everyone spiraling over YouTube banning ad blockers? Like, chill guys, just use Pi. It's a free
They're gonna ban that one too.
Fallout in the current conditions is truly screwed, but you don't think so because Todd gets lucky. He always gets lucky. The Fallout show came out and now Fallout is popular. Everyone was playing the games, getting that fixed. Now 2015 is a new 2024. And now the West belongs to Todd. Now New Vegas, as an aesthetic, belongs to Todd. But where are the games? While everyone's sucking off Fallout 4...
Where are the games? It's like you just don't understand game development, and these games take ages to make because there's a lot of moving parts. And they do innovate.
Again, mind-wiping the history of Fallout 76, acting like it's a great game now. It's surprising no one sat down and questioned for a second, why hasn't there been a new RPG since like 2015? And as I've been breaking it down, it's because Bethesda is insecure and
well, mainly 2020. Oh, Bethesda's insecure.
are sore winners, and they always get away with it. Even now, how flawed Fallout 4 is, they release a season of a show and all that history of Bethesda's pettiness is wiped away. The failure of Starfield is wiped away. Todd, you aren't a Kanye West album that everyone hates because they aren't ready for. You're a guy who constantly gets bailed out after wasting years making shitty video games while having IPs collect dust, like the CEO
Damn,
guy.
it sucks that Frank Sinatra is my way made into this video.
From Smiling Friends, because you fear that you will get upstaged by people who are better at making games than you, like what happened so
Or
long
at
ago
least the instrumentals did.
with Fallout New Vegas. The Fallout hype is now dead, and you aren't getting
This is what I predicted, dude. He praised New Vegas. He literally did, and then now Fallout 4 is the worst one. It's predictable, man. And also, the Nakey Jakey thumbnail he pointed out, or pulled up, one of the commenters pointed out on my last video, or my Nakey Jakey video, he ended up defending 7 out of 10 games. and he did. It was right after his Starfield video, which got a 7 out of 10 on IGN. It's a little contradictory, but okay, you can reference that guy all you want. I don't care.
Elder Scrolls game for 5 years. Then after that, they're gonna have to make a new engine because no way you can get away with it again. Hell, they might be doing that now. And
well, they keep updating it, so essentially they are making a new engine. You just don't get what you're talking about, bro. Neither do I. All I know is they update it. I don't know what it takes to update the fucking engine. Dude.
Scrolls 6 might take like 7 years. Then after that, you're gonna have to wait for another Fallout game, which is gonna be like another 5 years. So eyeballing it, it's gonna take 12 years to get the next entry in Fallout, which will probably not be good because the head of this Bethesda ship is stubborn, egotistical, and lives off of doubling down on critiques against.
Yep, and you have yet to prove it because this video's proven nothing.
And to prove a point. While every other studio around him is
just grifting.
doing better stuff. While this guy.
CD Projekt Red, yeah, of course. CD Projekt Red, definitely did better stuff than Bethesda. They released a broken-ass single-player game that actually got removed from the store. Going by your logic, we shouldn't be letting CD Projekt Red slide. And honestly, I really think it's ridiculous that these people gave him a pass after like an update that took him 3 years to come out with.
Only relies on getting bailed out by fan revisionism. Even CD Projekt Red, after it crashed and burned, still made a fun action-adventure game that also has bad RPG. Well,
okay.
Bethesda were making Starfield, though still has loading screens, dead planets, and outdated combat, while doubling down and arguing that people were wrong in Steam reviews.
You may need to upgrade your PC for this game, but it's got a lot.
There's probably some truth to that, bro. Pretty sure some people's complaints were that their computers really couldn't run the game. I mean, barely. Who cares, man?
A lot of great stuff going on in it, and the fans are responding awesome.
From 2015 to now, you could have had 2 4-year developed Fallout games on the same old-ass Fallout 4 engine and having them be hits, because if New Vegas proved anything from 3, you can have both.
Yeah, see, here we go, New Vegas again. The most overrated Fallout game. Yeah.
Action, fun, and
that ended up throwing a backstory on you in a DLC. They waited until after you made your own headcanon for the character, and then, you know, Lonesome Road comes along and says, no, you had something to do with the Divide. Yeah, no, none of these fans are going to talk about that, but okay, whatever.
Good stories. You don't only have to do one. And if something is great enough in concept, people will brush off its package. Bethesda is truly a gaming cancer. These are not the same guys who made...
Hold on, let's go back. You said something about...
You may need to upgrade your PC for this
something about, like, brushing off a package.
Game, but it's got a lot of great stuff going on.
Yeah, as I said, probably some truth to that.
And the fans are responding awesome.
Yeah.
From 2015 to now, you could have had 2 4-year developed Fallout games on the same old-ass Fallout 4 engine and having them be hits, because if New Vegas proved anything from 3, you can have both action, fun, and good stories. You don't only have to do one. And if something is great enough in concept, people will brush off its package. Bethesda is truly a game.
Yeah, and that's why people still like Bethesda games, because they do literally what you just fucking said. They brush off the package regardless of the flaws.
Gaming cancer. These are not the same guys who made Skyrim, and the only reason people like Fallout 4 is because nothing else has been released on that same engine besides an MMO to compare it to. Microsoft, you have proven to be a spineless, money-hungry company, so wake the fuck up. People like Fallout.
Dude, you're just saying things just to pander and to pad. I don't get it. You're just grifting.
New Vegas as an in-between
game. It's actually obvious. New Vegas is the best one. Fallout 3's RPG elements suck, so that means it's a bad game. Fallout 4's RPG elements and story suck, so it's a bad game. Cyberpunk or GTA clone with RPG elements, bad RPG but fun adventure game. Why again is fucking Bethesda getting shat on for this and Cyberpunk gets a free pass? Oh god, the irony. It's just too much. Okay.
Was a success.
It's because, you know, that one fucking update made Cyberpunk the best game ever.
I know they own Obsidian. It doesn't even have to be them. You can make a new team and rehire the competent people that were left to rot by Bethesda and make a new game. By
they
doing
don't
that,
work there anymore.
People get a new game.
Clearly, you didn't even research that.
And you get money. Bethesda does not make good enough games to be such entitled pricks about their IPs.
So you are grifting, because some of the people that even work at Obsidian or worked at Obsidian work at fucking Bethesda.
Especially for one they didn't originally create, which is Fallout. Fallout 3 was made because it was
some of the people who made New Vegas or worked on New Vegas worked on Fallout 4. I don't know if you knew that, but that's just funny. Not like the lead writer like Chris Avallone and the other dude.
Wanting to put a spin on something they enjoyed. And Bethesda gave the same gratitude
Chris Avallone, and I forget his name.
back. And then when Obsidian did it better, they got insecure and wanted to prove that they make better video games. And I've not let anybody have access to that IP since. Nobody wins. If you like Bethesda's Fallout games, you get no Fallout games by them being elitist. Microsoft, after forking $7 billion and having Fallout now being
being elitist.
The mainstream gets no
that's
money.
true, but you also don't make New Vegas look better by saying it's the best one. Honestly, they all are actually good. And if he really thinks that saying all of them are good, all of them are flawed, is elitism, because he brought that up earlier, so I wonder if that's what he means by elitist.
Money. And Bethesda already knows this. They could have been doing something years ago, but keep releasing patches 9 years later that breaks every mod. Keep getting outclassed by modders.
Breaks every mod. Dude, then it's the mod author who isn't that great at making mods. I'm sorry. I've played with mods that didn't need to be repatched. Start Me Up still works fine. So whoever made that mod, 90% of the other modders suck. Like if your mod can't survive an update, then you probably didn't make the mod right. I'm just saying. Probably fucked up somewhere because mod creators are amateurs, and I'm not trying to insult them, but that's the truth. At least in some cases. Maybe some of them are developers. I have no idea. Willing to admit that. Anywho. Instead of just making mods, just get your foot in the door. Make a big one. Work hard on it. Take months. Plan it out. And then be like, this is my portfolio. This is what I can do. And then boom, you probably will be hired, actually. That's what happened with Fallout London.
Making passion projects. End of the day, they're winning. They get to play with the meat puppet of something created with love.
Yeah, they are, and you're fucking sitting here pretty much using them to make money. Because if they weren't winning, you wouldn't be making videos.
While never sharing again themselves, and they get to be revered for it.
This is literally a grift type video, man.
Love for Bethesda. I think Bethesda sucks, and the only way for that company to survive.
Oh, good, thanks. We kind of got that from the start of the video with the pandering. Yeah.
Get rid of that upper office. But
I
Microsoft
really don't know what you're trying to get across.
isn't competent, so most likely nothing will happen, and we will continue the Bethesda cycle where the next Elder Scrolls gets a reality check when a lot of people don't like it, and Microsoft realizes that the hood has moved on to FromSoft games, and hopefully they make a change then.
Oh, bullshit, dude. Bullshit. And apparently, if I'm not mistaken, I did hear, I don't know if this is true, I did hear that Elden Ring was inspired by Skyrim a little bit.
But let's be honest, they probably won't.
Let's be honest, they probably won't. Oh, this is just as bad as the Starfield video. Let's see who actually commented. You guys get a shout out. Cheesy McNuggets, real. Oh, somebody liked it. It's not a comment. Yeah, let's read what you said. Because I asked, do you play Fallout 4 mods? And if you do, what is your favorite? And he says, since I only played on PS4, which, by the way, they need to, like, now since the PlayStation 5's out, they need to fucking bring external assets. I don't know what they're doing, but that's a topic for another video. The mods on here suck, to be honest. PC, on the other hand, is great from what I've heard. It's okay. It's a pain in the ass, actually, a little bit. The vanilla Fallout 4 experience is good enough for me. Yeah, it's actually fun. I have several vanilla characters who are all different. Yeah, you know, they're all parents. Some of them aren't really that concerned, though. But remember, the game is linear. It's too linear. Anywho, that was Dr. Skippers, and thank you for commenting, Cheesy McNuggets. That was Dr. Skippers, fucking how Bethesda doomed the future of Fallout, which was released 8 months ago. God-awful video, honestly. I don't even know what he was trying to get across, and it was very predictable. I mean, I don't get interested in videos that I can predict, and, well, lo and behold, no surprise. Joke's on me, I mean, to be honest, but whatever. This video sucked. Just pandering, just grifting on the Bethesda hate, and I am kind of led to believe he never played Fallout 4. I mean, saying that it's linear is one of the dumbest things ever. It's actually objectively false. To sit there and say Fallout 4 is linear is just wrong. And if it felt linear, then you probably should have went off and did your own thing instead of just following the yellow brick road. Anywho. That's me, Sacred G. Thank you guys very much for watching. And again, I want to know your unpopular Fallout opinions. Leave those down in the comments below. And I will read those and chat with you guys later. Peace the fuck out. Have a good one. Goodbye.